Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me? Step in the fire, get ready to take it higher. Real nigga coming out your amplifier. Y'all want every black man to be rich and proud. Why these white boys fuck up and turn into shy, huh? Cell phone became your brother, internet replaced your mother. You leaving homies on red, it's no wonder all your friends dead. Jealousy was the centerpiece, so my best friends turn to enemies. Sabotage my identity, why they wanna treat me like a Kennedy? They wanna affect the legacy, protect the heart, I cut off the extremities. I'll never be.
Yo, what's going on? So yes, so that little B-roll that you guys just saw was edited by none other than the homie, Kofi. Kofi is one of the guys that I'm very fortunate to have linked up with this year. We've done a lot of work. If you follow me on Instagram, you see some of his work. Some of his edit. He edited a nice little collab that we did at the Arnold this year. We linked up again in Florida, and now we linked up in Vegas at the Olympia, which is a nice little intro to this topic. You guys saw the title of the video. And this video is not to call anyone out. This video is just to tell you about my views and how my beliefs have shaped how I, move in the fitness industry. And the title of the video, again, obviously, the reason why I chose the natural route compared to the enhanced route. So I figured that's how that little beer was also perfect, because it was at the Olympia. Obviously, if you know anything about the Olympia, it's not a natural organization or anything like that. Nothing against those guys, obviously, because that's like the top tier. That's the top level of competitors, regardless if you want to compete in bodybuilding, a physique, classic. That is where your goal is at, to be there, to be on that stage. It's not the goal for me. Let me give you a little background in case you guys don't know who I am, or just been following for a while. You might know the story already. I started competing back in college, 2009. My first show was just a local Greek physics show back in college, and I was in the Army for 6 years. I got out and just looking for something else to do, to keep myself engaged, to keep myself fit, to challenge myself, and I stumbled upon bodybuilding. I was fortunate enough to be around the guys like Brian Doris, Hobby, and a few others that are very into bodybuilding at the time. I was just like, the only extent of the bodybuilding world that I know is just from the Muscle Development magazine, Jay Cutler, Dexter Jackson, and I was so naive enough to think, oh yeah, sure, these guys are just like natural, follow their meal prep, follow the meal plan, follow the workout routine, and I'm gonna get jacked too. I was that naive at the time. Obviously, after some time, I knew that's not the case. Yes, I was that naive. This is back 2009, by the way. There's no script to this conversation, by the way. It's just me, just having a conversation with you guys. And at the time, so the goal for me when I came into the sport of bodybuilding, it was just to challenge myself, but more so, it was just to have fun. And the kind of company that I kept at the time allowed me to do that. The company of Ryan Doris, who, watching him go through prep definitely made me want to prep. Wow, this guy's literally focused. He's in it, he challenges, pushes himself. I love the way he trains, and that allowed me to wow, I want to do that too. And watching him do that definitely motivates me. So the motivation to work out in the gym, one, it was a social hour. It was a social hangout back in the college. Was in the rec center at the time, where all the homies come out. We work out. We smash fucking workout. We go out. We grab food at the same time. So it was never, I think, what a lot of people seek nowadays. A lot of people seek that sort of validation. I don't want to seek that, follower on Instagram. A lot of people seek that external gratification from other people to say, wow, bro, you're jacked. By the time when I started bodybuilding, it was never an external gratification. It was an internal. It was an internal decision. It was an internal push for myself to see how far I can push my physical limits. Luckily for me, I think I made a post the other day, I'm happy, I'm glad that when I start bodybuilding in that era, I did not start bodybuilding right now. I started bodybuilding like back in the era when social media was not as big as it is right now. The influences for you to, stray and go try something else that you might regret was never there back then. But now it is. Social media, everything is so digitized that, you keep flipping through Instagram. It's like one shredded guy, after the other, male and female, by the way. And I guess some females are enhanced also. I mean, I've heard a lot of coaches that give, their clients some, clan and all kinds of weird shit, which, I personally believe I don't think any female should be doing it, especially competing as bikini or something like that. But anyways, I digress. But so the culture at the time never didn't really, give me the incentive to even like want to try being enhanced. So because the core of the belief when I started bodybuilding was solely to challenge myself internally. It was not an external gratification that I'm seeking from it. It's really, okay, this is the physical body that I have, but how much can I push it? That was what has allowed me to stay in the natural realm. It's never crossed my mind not even one time to dabble in anything, just because, again, I just don't see the reason. And the more I'm exposed to bodybuilding, the more I know some of these guys are not enhanced. are not natural, are enhanced. Yes, they eat chicken, they still train hard, but it seems like they have a little sprinkle of something in there that made them look the way they look. Again, I'm not judging them, but at the same time, one of my favorite bodybuilders was Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, 1999 Grand Prix Kevin Levrone. If you Google that video, amazing. I'm still shocked and blown away by the level of muscularity that these guys have. But for me personally, it's not something that I want to indulge in, just because I've never been curious about it. And when I was curious about it, just to know, just to do the research, the side effects just outweigh the positive. So nowadays I have so I did a video, when I did a video with Jeff Nippard, and a lot of people were like, wow, bro, you natural? I'm like, yeah, I'm natural. And I've gotten a lot of people that reached out that said the video, changed their view that, if they can see a physique like mine, which I don't think I'm that impressive, by the way, a physique like mine, that definitely allows them and gives them hope to, keep the natural path. And by the way, again, I'm 36. I've been bodybuilding. I've been working out since 2006, training 2009, 2010. So I've been at it for about, a good 13 years or so. I'm 35. So just to give you a little perspective, I know a lot of young guys are just starting right now. You haven't even ran through a good training program. You haven't even given yourself enough time to actually invest in a surplus or train or have a nice improvement season for multiple years to give yourself enough time to actually grow some decent muscle before you decide, I'm going to hop on some juice. And the one thing you don't understand is once you hop on the juice, a lot of times you need to keep using it to see the result. It's not something you use for the first time, you hop off and you keep those quote unquote gains. In the good words of my homie, Beast Mode Jones, natural gains are loyal. If you are, putting the time in naturally, there's no, unless you stop working out or, just for one reason or the other, and you just lose all your gains and you gain a bunch of fat. But if you keep training, you are going to maintain that size for a long period of time. Unlike if you are on the enhanced side, once you stop, you see a lot of these guys, not to, put anybody on the bus. I'm sure if you are in the social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Khan of Von Miller, however you pronounce his name. He hopped off the juice and he shrunk. It was still lean, but it was just probably running a different cycle or something, and it shrunk. So it's one of those things that you have to keep upping the dose to get bigger and bigger. And if you don't understand something about growth hormones, not just your muscles that are growing. Your heart is a muscle itself. Those enlarge. Your kidney, all those little muscles, they enlarge at the same time. And when those muscles enlarge more than what the natural level is supposed to be, of course you're straining it. That's why you hear a lot of side effects of all these guys just passing away, somebody just dying, collapsing, because you always want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to keep up. So some of the side effects is that, and me personally, if I'm all about health and fitness, I'm truly about, being the strongest version of myself, not enhanced self, natural self, that's one of the reasons why I'm sticking to this natural path. And luckily for me, I have natural organizations like WNBF, OCB, NAMBF, IPE, all good natural organizations that empowers, embraces natural, bodybuilding, gives you the opportunity to display that kind of category. I mean, that to display yourself. Yes, it's not as big as an NPC. Yes, it's not as big as IBB. But if you do want to be competitive and compete as a natural bodybuilding, there is an organization out there for you. If you're not familiar, I'm competing at the Jordan Cup OCB in a couple of weeks. And a few weeks after that, I'll be competing at WNBF World. WNBF World has over 300 competitors in that show, and not just from around the States. I'm talking about 30 different countries that are coming together and competing against each other. It's a huge, massive show. So if you're trying to say, oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't really, there's not a lot of good organizations out there that promotes or that are big enough like an NPC. There are big natural organizations out there. There are, giving natural bodybuilding the opportunity to grow. We just need more people to be more aware of these organizations and people to compete in these organizations and, and keep natural bodybuilding alive. So, I thought this conversation is, is much needed and it's long overdue. And again, it's not to, call somebody out, but it's just to share my belief, my personal belief on why I decided to stay natural. Again, I decided to stay natural just because there is no benefit in it for me. The cost to benefit ratio is just, it's astronomical. And it's quite expensive. If you get the good shit, it is an expensive sport. It's not cheap at all. So yes, you want to try. So why do you want to dabble in little SARMs here and there just to, wreck the opportunity for you to compete in a natural organization for the next 7 years? So don't do that. Don't do the short, look at the long-term gain as opposed to short-term gain. And the side effect to, again, all this hoorah is, a lot of people that do hop on, the sauce real quick. I'm just going to dabble in this a little bit. And when you decide, okay, you know what, maybe this is not for me, it's already too late for you to come back and compete in a natural organization, because you have to be Natty for the last 7 years if you want to compete in a natural organization. Yes, they do polygraph. Yes, they do piss test. The organizations that I compete in, they all do polygraph and they all do piss test. I know the Canoe IVB, quote unquote, natural organizations out there. And what I've heard so far, it's not really that great in my opinion. Nobody gets polygraphed. They only test, the top 3 or top 5. Everybody needs to be polygraphed. I understand if you piss test the top 5, but everybody needs to be polygraphed. And if you want to make the argument that, polygraph is not a good way to test to say somebody who's a natural peer, anybody can pass the polygraph anytime, like, by all means. A little background, I was in the Army for 6 years, and I know in psych ops, there are training involved in teaching you how to pass a polygraph, but you have to be a psychopath. You have to be a schizophrenic person for you to be able to, pass that flawlessly. But my point is, why go through all that so you can lie about you being natural? There's no need for that. If you already hopped on something, if you're already taking the shortcut, by all means, compete in NPC. So why do you want to compete as a natural just to fake it? There's no need for that. If I'm on shit, there was no need for me to compete as a natural bodybuilder. There's no need for that. Yes, it's a badge of honor from it, but there's no need for me to compete there. If I hop on shit, like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on because it's an opportunity, it's an avenue for me to compete in a different organization or a different place that allows me to do so, enhanced. But there is no need, there is no incentive. It's too much energy wasted in trying to convince and or take a shortcut or lie about being a natural athlete. There's no need for that. So I love competing naturally. I would never leave the natural bodybuilding organization or realm, because there's no incentive there. Yes, I did compete in two NPC shows this year, and again, it's the challenge of it, just to see how I stand when it comes to the other side, the enhanced side, and we didn't do too shabby neither, which I think, and most of the feedback that I got from that was very positive and actually opened a lot of people's eyes that, well, a natural guy who spent not 2 years, not 3 years. I've been doing it for like 11, 12 years. I've spent a lot of time improving my body and physique for me to be able to stand up there. So there are some natural bodybuilders out there. They're actually banging it out with some of these NPC guys because they've trained for some time. But at the same time, I'm never, if I did win like my pro card in IBB this year, I will not give up my natural pro status. I would rather give up my IBB pro status and come back to IBB because yes, I'm not after a title. If I did get the title, it would just be, oh, cool, okay, got a title, awesome. Then what? So I can compete in an IBB show, so I can place like top 10. So I can place that. I'm not in bodybuilding for top 5. I'm bodybuilding to win, because at the end of the day, I'm a very, very competitive person. Regardless if I'm all about improving myself, at the end of the day, when I do compete, I want to win. So yeah, I'm just thought I'd hop this. I think this video is long overdue. Yes, I've talked about my response to Jeffrey video before, but I've never really spoke about the reason why I decide long years and years ago to stay natural. Again, the one to just recap, I never saw an incentive in it. The cost to benefit ratio is just astronomically like different from each other. The cost outweighs the negative in the last recent years, and that, I mean, if all the news of the natural, of this enhanced bodybuilder just passing away, has definitely solidified my decision in not going there. So yeah, and if you do want to do it, by all means, I mean, please be smart with it. Life is, I mean, people around you love you and don't want you to do anything that will harm yourself. And if you do it, by all means, I mean, at least have somebody smart, have somebody that know what they're doing around you, that can give you the guidance to, that's not going to allow you to abuse the drugs that are out there. But preferably, I would rather you not do it, because I think you have a greater potential of retaining all the gains that you have for a long period of time naturally. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys love and enjoy the video, if you do, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And shout out to my man Kofi again for doing the dope edit at the beginning. I'll put his link in the description in case you live in the Canada area or you live around the United States and you want to collab with him. And I'll see you guys on the next video.